Something that I hate on Lightroom is like going through each setting individually, being as precise as you can using the small sliders of the software just makes it not very easy and ergonomic to use. And this is where comes the TourBox Elite Plus. So what is this small device right there? It's very easy, it's just an extension of your keyboard that lets you have any shortcuts or macro you want to add into this very satisfying button for any software you can use. So think about it like an ergonomic keyboard that will make you go way faster with your workflows. Let's see now how to use it during my daily workflow on Lightroom Classic, because this is the software that I use the most. You are mostly going to focus on Lightroom because of their new features, which is the dynamic panels. And what's good with the dynamic panel, just to jump straight into the new features, is that you can get rid of this one and work fully on your pictures. After that, you just need to get your shortcuts wherever you want on your TourBox, since you can customize it exactly the way you want. And I really invite you to do so to be able to fit your workflow style, because for me there is a few things that was pre-installed that makes sense, that was logical, but the way I use Lightroom with the setting that I mostly use for my pictures, I need it for my own work. So here I have the D-pad. It opens different settings that you would pre-select on the software, which is pretty well made and very straightforward if you want to customize anything. So here we have with the top one the exposure, just to correct the light the way I would do it, just to balance it. So you can increase it with this dial here, then go down with the other one, manage the contrast to get something like this. Maybe let's bring up the shades a little bit, the white to have it a bit more like popping, and the black to make it even more contrasty. And then when I'm done with the lighting, I can jump into the white balance, which is the one at the bottom, and I've got here the warmth, and I want it to make it a little bit colder, maybe a little bit more green. That's good like this. And correct the vibrancy, because you can see the fingers were quite yellow. Then you can have also shortcut by customizing. So if I press over there and press right, I've got my color setting. So I can correct even more over there. Another thing that you can do if you don't like to manage your settings just with this button, you can directly use the mouse, and once you are on the setting you want, it can be way faster this way as well. So you can jump into the orange right here, press to reset, go back here again, lower the saturation up, and change on the go, on the fly I would say, directly on the dynamic panel. So when I'm on the library, the software recognizes the library separately from the development page, so it changed the shortcut, and here I have different shortcuts, so I can just move around the different pictures here. I can flag the picture I want, I can unflag, reject the picture I don't want, etc, etc, and just mark it my own. I can also rate if I want 1 star, 3 star or 5 star, and just like this, traveling through all my pictures and sorting everything very quickly. So TourBox sent me this one, the Elite Plus, which has new feature we're gonna talk about very quickly. Just a small notice, they specifically told me that if I have anything to say to improve this product, I'm free to say it. So the review is what I think about the product, because in the past I wanted to get one, but I was like, should I invest in one? I don't know if it's gonna be very useful, and we're gonna find out that it has some point that makes your work a little bit more fun. So it's not paid, but they gave me one. As you can see, you have Photoshop, Lightroom, DaVinci Resolve that I use as my daily workflow. You can see all the buttons right here. If you press any one, they will appear just right there to see if you can change the shortcut. But as you can see, there is also Safari and Finder. If you go on their website, there is a tons of people who send their preset related to the software they're using. I love to have it for Safari and the Finder, because once I'm in my pictures on the Finder, I can directly change the picture that I want, then use this as a space to have the preview on my screen. I love to have the possibility to keep my hand on this device while I'm switching between Lightroom and the Finder to be able to work on my stuff. I didn't show you because I don't use it anymore since I'm used to it right now, but you can also have a HUD that will show exactly what you want. So here you can see all the basic setup related to each button on the TourBox, but also as well you have the D-pad that appears the same way. So here I'll have new YouTube tab, new Google Drive tab, and I can also set up more shortcut over there. So you can have this to help you when you're not sure about your shortcut, just to get this learning curve reaching a level where you feel comfortable with it. And once you are done, you can just deactivate it, or you can also make it dark, which is what I did for Lightroom, and make it smaller, changing the opacity, etc, etc. The software is very well done. They thought about everything to be able to make your life easy, and I really like it. Let's get back to Lightroom. Personally, I think I still need the right setting panel, even though it's very easy and comfortable to use the dynamic panel just to edit for 80% of your pictures. You can jump on every setting you want, and it's very easy. For all the sliders, it's perfect. It's everything you need. You don't need more. And then when it comes to the curves, which I use a lot, I prefer to still use the curve like this. So I would be happy if I could have like a dynamic panel that makes my curve jump into the screen and to be able to grab the curve that I want. Same as the shortcut, the dynamic panel that appears here, having a curves that I can also edit without having this right there. And as you saw at the beginning, just the haptic feedback are so nice to use. Having some analog feedback is so great. So they sent me this to try this out. I was thinking about getting one for a long time, but I didn't know if I wanted to invest in such kind of thing that might maybe give me like another device next to my keyboard and get my desk way bigger with more stuff to carry around, etc, etc, and getting used to it. But the very big thing that I didn't know I was going to like that much, it's the analogic feeling you get with it. So it's completely loose. There is no specific mark when you turn it. It's like it's completely loose, but you can set up the haptic feedback that goes with this one. And I think I would say the haptic feedbacks, it depends for what you do, but for me on Lightroom, for example, I think the haptic feedbacks are a must. You need to have it to be able to see where you are going to in the menu. I'm just doing it on the back. I can feel that I'm going like one setting to another setting to another setting, etc, etc, and then without being too much focus on your screen, you can easily find out where you were and what to change on your setting. It just makes it like a little bit more real, you know, like if you were on your picture with your finger trying to increase the exposure, etc, to increase or decrease the contrast, touch the vibrancy and modify the colors. Like it feels like you have a deep control of your pictures right to your hand. And it doesn't feel like this with the keyboard and the mouse because it's very, there's no feedback, there is nothing that tells you like you are changing your option. And since the latency is perfect, you can, every time you change something, it's directly changing it on your screen. It just feels like you are touching and modifying your picture with your hand. And that's a feeling I didn't know I was going to get while using this. It brings something like real to it that is very hard to express as long as you are not trying it by yourself. Of course, on top of that, it makes you work faster and smoother, I would say. There's not all the options, as I mentioned, that are very easy to use for specifically for Lightroom, but for example on DaVinci there was a tons of options for the color grading, for example, that was perfectly integrated. So I think it's just a matter of time in the future to see this coming to Lightroom. And for the other software, you're gonna have to check by yourself with other creators because I'm here to talk to you about photography. Let's talk directly about the pros and the cons. Let's start with the cons. It's not really cons like bad point, but it's more like improving points that I would love to see in the future to have something even better to use. First, I would say is like the stiffness of the dial. When there is no haptic, it's like very loose. You can turn it like very easily. Thanks, there is the haptic feedback that makes it like feel there is like some resistance, but I would love to have something a little bit harder to turn, a little bit more smooth, like a ring from a camera would have been the best feedback to get while turning everything. The tour button, I wanted to use it so when I press it and I turn the knob here, I wanted this to be able to, you know, when you press option to the sharpening, it shows you a different view to see exactly what you do on your picture. Here you go, you can see how much detail or how much masking I add or not to my picture. And I love these features, like just very easy to see what you do precisely. But unfortunately, when I press and turn, it shows the numpad like this and doesn't let me use keep pressing option. I told them and they told me it's a problem they are trying to work on, so it might be possible to do for the future update. But always buy your stuff related to what's available now and not what's promising. But it's good that they are aware of this. And the last one I would say is the visual dependency. This is specifically for Lightroom. You can edit most of it, as I said, by just using the dynamic pen like this. It's very nice to use. It's like a very good add-on on top of the software. But as I told you, there's some settings that needs a little bit more information to be able to use. And I use a lot of the curve, not being able to see the curve on the screen when you edit. So yeah, Lightroom requires some specific setting with visual feedback. Now let's talk about the pros. As I told you, there is the vibe editing that I love while you are using this. The haptic feedback, the just jumping into different settings, the software which is making everything move and bumping very organically, make it feel like going back to analog. It makes it feel like you are deeply changing the setting on your picture. I have to admit, to be able to be focused on your pictures and not always jumping on the right side to look at different settings is a big good point as well, because you can just change the setting. The settings are very quick to your pictures and see exactly how it affects your picture. That's also one of the reasons why it makes the editing part quite quick. Portability, as you can see, it's very small. I also have with me, if I just take it, the small travel bag that they send me as well. So you can bring it with you, just activate the Bluetooth, everything works perfectly, there is absolutely no latency, and that's just perfect. So as I showed you, I used it in a cafe and it just makes my life way easier in a cafe. The stability as well, it's very steady. If I move it like this, the camera might move but not the device, and very heavy as well, which makes it like having a very good feeling in hand. The haptics, I think the feedbacks are just like a must. You need to have it to have this sensation of feedback when you edit a picture. It's like a big plus that tells you like where you go in the menu without even looking at it. The clear case, it's a small point, but I'm very happy to see brands that comes up with like the clear case like this back during the 90s when it was more trendy. It's cool. It just looks great, specifically with my keyboard on the side. It's matching well, so personally for me it's perfect. And the last one, you can use it for anything. Of course, there is some supported software that will integrate a little bit better the option. If you have like a weird software that you use for a long time, you can still customize it and add the macro and the shortcuts directly to your software to be able to use it properly. You can just make it your own. As I showed you, I use it for Safari and the Finder to always keep my hands on it, and that's just so great. It's very great. You have the Bluetooth integrated, which makes it very easy to carry the device with you anywhere. I'm living in Korea, and here we often go walk in cafes, and having this small thing that you can put on a table, just activate the Bluetooth and then switch different computers if you have it. So it can be, for example, your MacBook and jumping on your iPad, and it's instantly pairing, very easy. It recognizes everything quickly when you want to use it. It just makes your life easier. I was talking about iPad. Now you have the iPad integration, so you can use it with the iPad. I have my iPad mini right there, but of course they mostly think about the iPad for people who want to draw on it, and you can use it with Procreate, for example, and keep drawing the way you were doing before, but with more efficiency, since you can change the brush size, the opacity and everything as you want, once again, since you can customize everything. And then the new feature, it's hardware. You have a clear case, and thanks God there is some companies that are still making this style nowadays. I love it this way. Plus it doesn't catch any fingerprints. It stays as new as you got it. So yeah, plus anti-fingerprint mark, which is a big plus for this kind of thing that gets your greasy fingers everywhere. Concerning the price, I think there is a sale just right now, so you might check it out on different websites where you can get it. From the official website, it was on sale at $252 right now. I get collaboration when I feel this is something I could use in my daily workflow. I don't review things that I'm not using. So yeah, very happy. Thanks again for TourBox. I invite you deeply to go check out their website in the description to see if there is anything that could fit your desk. And me, I will get back into these pictures for finishing the editing that I should have sent a long time ago. Thanks for watching. That was Antoine. Ciao.